my colleague, Mark Nelson, also from Sonoma State. Mark, howdy.
Good to see you again, Paul.
So as we did last time, we'd like to take some time to chat with you and answer some of the questions that you're proposing, that you're posing. Also, perhaps issues that you brought up, see if we can respond to some of those that we read as we read through all of your posts, etc. We want to thank you for participating. We got some comments. One of the pieces of feedback we got is some of our videos are a little too long, so we're going to try today to, if we possibly can, Mark,
keep it short.
Keep it short.
Short and simple, and sweet.
In light of that, though, we would really like you to participate with each other. Don't hesitate to contact one another, to communicate to each other, not just always to us. So that's a great way to keep the talk down from us too.
Yeah, it's been neat to see all the support that the students are giving one another.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good. So our topic this week was relevant purpose, and we have a couple things here. One area of comment that we got was, or I guess maybe just an input or something. People talking about this finding relevant purpose is not a destination. It's a journey, and we wanted to kind of reinforce that a little bit, that it's not a one-time thing where you find it or not find it. Mark?
Yeah, well, I think one of the points that we just wanted to reinforce was that our hope is that as educators that we will be able to unleash this self-discovery process, this curiosity element, lifelong learning, self-exploration, because I know I've personally found that as I've gotten older, my passions have changed, my purposes have changed. There were the things that I enjoyed as a young person that perhaps don't give me the level of energy that they used to, and those are replaced by different things. So again, I think the joy is in the journey itself, not some magical purpose that just happens and then that's it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. In fact, one of you I know wrote back, I think it was Paul, wrote us that he kind of objected to the word magical. And I think he had a good point. Yeah. It's not a snap thing. It's something you have to keep looking at and keep listening. I think one of the points you make, Mark, is you got to listen to that inner voice.
Yeah, in fact, I think you not only listen to your inner voice, but to me it's even more impactful when you feel your inner voice. There's an element that we all hear voices, but when you really feel that connectivity between purpose and relevance, it's very, very powerful. And again, it's a lifelong deal, and it's something that we want to continue to invest in as we're building our life portfolio.
Okay. We had some comments too about some of the concepts that we were portraying, and where does the line between what the responsibility of parents is and encouraging various kinds of thinking in their kids and values, etc., versus where does the educator lie with all of that? And I think we see it really as a collaboration between parents and teachers and everybody.
Yeah, we do, and I think it's about asking the right questions and asking them in forms that promote, again, self-discovery for individuals. It's not about pushing information at people. One of the things, and I think I may have mentioned this or will be mentioning it in another video, it's going to not only be lifelong, but so frequently the way we ask questions of our young people starts making them formulate opinions of themselves. And we want them to really develop their own self. So for example, when you ask somebody what they want to be when they grow up, well, that in me, or if you say, hey, you're good at this or you're bad at that, you're an extrovert or you're an introvert or you're a good actor and a bad athlete, then you're starting to really restrict the minds of these young people, and both parents and educators need to be very, very aware about how they're communicating with their kids. And I also think that educators need probably to spend a bit more time, if possible, with dialogues with the parents, and I think parents certainly need to have more dialogues with the educators so that you understand where those lines are crossed and when they're not crossed. Certain educators may have different boundaries. Certain parents may have different boundaries, but that ongoing dialogue and ongoing communication will assist, again, in unleashing these powerful passions and purposes in young people.
Yeah, and we don't believe, at least we don't think we do, that this is something you you don't give kids the relevant purpose. You don't teach it to them. You help them discover it. And that's why I think Mark and I both feel strongly that it's about asking great questions. It's about probing with your kids. It's about, and believe it or not giving so much advice. Right. One thing I am still learning as a parent is probably the worst thing you can do in many circumstances is to give these long sermons and advice. Asking good questions, really listening, seems to be the way to really unleash the passions. I think they're there already. We're not implanting them. That's why our kids are also different.
No, and I think we want to make sure that through the exploration process of relevant purpose, that we're creating awareness, that young people get a greater understanding and a greater awareness of their external circumstances and what is provoking them internally. And then again, trying to create alignment between those two things.
This finding this purpose, etc., kind of leads to another topic that some of you recommented on from us, and that was about passion and this debate that I think we partially stimulated between finding your passion and paying the bills. And I think that's one of the things that makes this course as unique is we're trying to draw a link between those. We're trying to say it's not a choice. Mm-hmm. We're trying to say that if you find one, perhaps the other's there more. Mark, what do you think?
Well, I think for the most part, our world is fairly abundant. And if you create that level of self-awareness about what really makes you tick, and then you chart a path, you connect the dots, you do some level of career/life understanding, we think you can build intrinsic wealth and extrinsic wealth. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I think you have to be careful because as we'll talk about and have talked about, money can be a trap. And in fact, sometimes money can stifle the creativity and the unleashing of relevant purpose. And that's what we want to watch out. But I think you can have both, but you got to be consciously making decisions for the greater good of an individual.
I think that's what we're talking about too in terms of alignment. We'll say more about alignment as we go on, won't we? But to just find one's passion, that's great. To seek to make money, that's great. But we're trying to, through this course, help people connect the two of those, I think.
Well, and if I use my son Aiden as an example, in fact, Aiden, give him a little plug here. He's the one that wrote and performed the intro song and the exit song for each one of the videos. So thanks for that, Aiden. I gave him some advice because he's a musician, and that was, look, follow your passions, follow your purposes, but learn every single thing you can about the music industry. Learn about the business side, learn about the production and engineering side, learn about the technology side. Now he's going to go off to Berklee College of Music this year, and he's going to study music engineering and production, and he's going to double major in music business while still being a performer. Doesn't mean he has to relinquish his dream. Right? No, not at all.
Okay.
It doesn't mean he should be relinquishing his dream to be the next great guitarist, because he should, but he wants to be close to his passion. And yet he's going to have to make a living in this world. So that's the kind of advice I would give to young people. Find your passion and create a myriad of potential strategies that will allow you to land in that space of intrinsic and extrinsic wealth.
Good, good. Well, what other topics we need to cover, Mark?
Well, let's look up at the board. Let's just do a little check.
You wrote down some of the things from your comments and have them here.
Oh, one of the things that we want to make sure is that during your chats, and you're doing a pretty good job of this, is share some of the unique things that are going on in your classrooms, some of the entrepreneurial educator types of initiatives that will resonate with others, because we can sit here and talk at you forever, but the reality is there's practical things that are going on right now across the country. You've seen some of them, and we'll see more of them in our videos, but there's nothing more powerful than peer-to-peer dialogues and peer-to-peer exchanges. There is such a wealth, I can already tell just by looking at the chats and looking at the collaborations, that there's a lot of really, really bright, forward-thinking educators that are participating in this. Let's share that. Let's make that really powerful and a key component to the stimulating conversation.
Absolutely. Great.
And I think the thing, we keep posting on Twitter, and we are at SSU Startup. My personal Twitter account is at Mark Nelson. What's your personal Twitter account?
At Dr. Paul Porter.
You got that one, huh? Wow, good
I
for
think
you.
so.
Anyway, at SSU Startup, and also
I better double check that.
okay, double check it. Hashtag Edupreneur.
Yeah, just go to hashtag.
Yeah, go to hashtag. We've got some again some real cool stuff going on, and really looking forward to next week's session because it'll tie in, I think, a little bit more practicality to relevant purpose. It's about external alignment so that we can take care of those bills that we were talking about while simultaneously doing exciting things for our inner selves.
Yeah, as we go on, we hope that you will look back at previous modules, start to make some of the connections, because some of this is hard for us to fully explain when you haven't had some of the future modules. So as you start to make those connections, let us know, and we'll continue to respond and see if we can help make some of those connections with you.
Yeah, and thanks for the candor. We enjoy the feedback. Both positive and constructive negativity. The criticisms are good. We like them because we're still, this is a movement that is still formulating, and we wish we had all the answers, but the reality is we don't. Our job long term is to create more tools to equip not just educators but parents and others around these concepts of lifelong learning and building a life portfolio, and economic unit of one, et cetera, et cetera. Work in progress.
Work in progress, as all of us are.
That's right.
Thanks for tuning in. Great to chat with you again. Keep watching.